welcome to the Can't Wait to Show, the show where I do the very difficult task of telling you whether a movie's worth your time or not and serves a spot in your movie collection. As always, I am Ash, and today we're going to be talking about Rurouni Kenshin Part III, The Legend Ends? So let's just cry because it's over! So Rurouni Kenshin The Legend Ends is, of course, the third and final installment into the Rurouni Kenshin live-action trilogy. And in this one, immediately following the events of the last one, which, spoiler alert, Kenshin got thrown off a boat and he got washed up on shore and some old dude picked him up. Turns out old dude is his old master, and he's all like, "Master, yo! Makoto Shishio's out there, he's being a super dick, he's like threatening all-out war on Japan, he's gonna do it! You need to teach me the final and most powerful ultimate attack of the Hiten Mitsurugi style." And his teacher's like, "Okay, so yeah." And then he's gonna go do a little stabby stab and a little shing shing. And I was so hyped to check this one out. I mean, I loved the first two, and Kyoto Inferno decided, hey, we're gonna end on a motherfucker of a cliffhanger. So I was just like, well, shit. I need to see how that, like, resolves. I need to see how all of this concludes. I need to see if it has a satisfying conclusion to meet the standards of the anime I love so dearly. And I went and saw it last night, and it's very enjoyable. It is also the weakest of the three. And when I say that, I really mean the story here, the storytelling more so, really isn't as rich or well done as the previous two films. It's like, don't get me wrong, the movie as a whole is still undeniably entertaining. It has a lot of what you loved from the first two and more. It's got all of that, not to mention, it concludes very satisfyingly where you're like, you know what? If the trilogy had to end anywhere, I'm glad it ended there. But the fact of the matter is, this is the first movie in the franchise where I kind of sat back and went, you know what? Maybe sticking a little bit closer to the source material would have done you better. And by that, I really mean there are a lot of characters in this movie that either made their debut in Kyoto Inferno or right here in this movie that I think were absolute powerhouses in the anime that kind of get a raw deal here with their live-action counterparts. Like, for one, I feel like Aoshi, he finally gets some real shit to do here. And after watching this, whilst also rewatching the show, he really should have just been in the first movie, because Aoshi is one of the best Rurouni Kenshin characters, and he has this incredible character arc within him that starts from where that first movie went. So, when you don't put him in the first movie, you really get rid of a lot of that great character that could have been developed over a few films instead to just have him really rushed here and feel like his motivations aren't really all that there. And hey, maybe if we were able to get his character development over the three movies themselves, maybe then we could have gotten a little more from the Jupangatna in this movie. Like, if you're not well versed in Kenshin, the Jupangatna is basically Shishio's hired group of goons who are absolute forces to be reckoned with. Every one of them is like top tier of their class. They're like, we are threatening. And in this movie, whereas in the show, they were big fucking deals, this movie, they are reduced to glorified cameos. I mean, some of them get a good fight. Some of them, there's one character in particular who the anime made a huge big deal of, that, spoiler, literally rushes at a guy and just, he dies. With it, he has like 3 seconds of screen time and he's gone. Now look, I'm not asking, hey, we need all this character development, we are going to need spin-off movies for these characters, all this. I'm just saying, these were big deal characters in the source material, so let's treat them as such in their adaptations. But aside from my clear issues with the characters and the pacing of their development, I can still take solace in the fact the one consistent thing throughout this entire franchise is that awesome samurai action. And while here, I think Kyoto Inferno still reigns supreme as just a movie and as the pillar of action. And I even think Origins had more action scenes to really give. But as far as this one goes, it still gives you some great action here, especially of all the things that you'd pay to go see this movie for. The one is going to be that end 4-on-1 fight with Makoto Shishio, which is and I am telling you, every bit as badass as I hoped it would have been. This is that kind of fight that is so badass and so incredible that, like, you're pulling it up on YouTube, you're showing it to your friend because your friend just said, man, I wish I could see some badass shit right now. And you're like, you want to see badass shit? I'll show you badass shit. So, in the end, Rurouni Kenshin The Legend Ends is a slightly disappointing end to an overall excellent trilogy. Like, don't get me wrong, it's got its character problems and it rushes through a lot of stuff it shouldn't rush through. But the fact of the matter is, it's still a damn enjoyable experience. They still nail all the casting on the characters, even if they don't get them right. Overall, I think this is really still a satisfying conclusion to the trilogy. I'm glad it ended here. I'm glad they ended it the way they did. Could it have been better? Sure. But is it still a really good movie? I'd say yes. And as I will for the rest of the trilogy, this is an easy day one buy for me. I'll be picking it up the day Funimation releases it, as well as any director who's out there who's like, I'm going to direct the next big anime/manga movie, like, right to the big screen in live action. Before you do that, go check out these movies, because I can't think of a better example of how to do an anime adaptation right. This is how you do it. You look at your source material and you love and respect your source material, while also respecting it enough to know when it's time to tweak and change things here and there to make it an overall cinematic experience that can be something that's original and special in its own way. Basically, put love and care into it, but at the same time, put effort in. Because that's what impresses me about this trilogy, is the sheer amount of effort and pure talent behind it, and I fucking applaud it. There's 1 clap, 2 clap, fucking 5 claps. I failed math. Rurouni Kenshin The Legend Ends gets a B- out of 10. Hello everybody, thank you so very much for watching my video review for Rurouni Kenshin Part 3, The Legend Ends. I want to hear what you think. Have you seen the movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you going to see it? Are you going to skip it? Whatever your thoughts are, leave in the comment section below, because I want to hear them. And as always, guys, if you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Of course, be sure to follow me on all my social medias and join Enter the Cinephile on Facebook. And since I've seen all these movies, I guess get excited for an anime review of the actual anime when I finally finish it again. But, most importantly, from all of us here at the Captain Mighty Show, you stay classy, you too. Jesus, I got the burpees bad today!